Welcome to Wordplay, the podcast where metaphors spiral, sayings unravel, and two pals try and make sense of it all. I'm George.
And I'm Rach. And each week we pick a well-known saying, such as when pigs fly, or the cat's out the bag.
And then we run absolutely wild with it.
Sometimes it's deep, sometimes it's chaos. Usually both. This is Wordplay. Let's get into it.
Hi, Rach.
Whoa, here she is, Fringe Mrs. Fringe.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She's looking.
I'm loving it.
She's looking so cute.
So cute. What was the verdict on when you'd cut it yourself? Because I thought it looked great. You know, when you'd done like the little edges.
Right. Yeah. No.
I thought it looked great.
It did look great. It did look great.
Yeah.
But it needed to be more so. It needed to be a fresh beginning. You know.
Oh. Yeah, I see that.
And as a big anime fan, I've done many different anime related haircuts in my past.
Okay.
Mostly using color. I've had every color. But I have never done this like wispy in the middle and then like little pieces at the side moment. And honestly, I'm kind of living for it. I kind of want to dye it like purple though. There's that.
Wait, just the fringe or the hair as well?
Everything.
Yeah, okay. I'm excited. This is a new era. It's really working for you.
Anything
and I'm also pleased that like it sits right. Do you know what I mean? I've been on many the fringe. The fringe. The fringe is a thing. And it's
you never know.
Working in every way.
Thank you.
Woo.
New era. Yeah, well, I mean, for anyone that actually wants to see us talking about this with visual references, you can go on Spotify and watch the actual video of it, which is
you can
fun if you're that way inclined. Sometimes I do that with Louis Theroux.
Do you?
Yeah.
What is it about him specifically that makes you want to see?
Facial expressions. Yes, he has the best subtle and yet very obvious facial expressions.
Yeah, I can see that actually from like watching his documentaries. Like he says so much without saying anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There you go. You can also watch it on my YouTube channel because it will be uploading into there as well to watch it on a video format.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I mean, there are better reasons to go to your YouTube channel, to be honest. Like, it's absolutely full of gold. But
well, that's true. But this is also a good reason.
Both are good reasons. Anyway, how are you?
I'm good. I'm in my living room today. You can tell because we've got our launch banner that's still up on my fireplace. I'm in that zone, you know, when well, this is normally the zone I'm in when I'm premenstrual because hormones dictate everybody's life schedule, well, my life schedule. When I just don't really want to leave this room, but not in a bad way. Like, so I worked for 2 hours this morning in my office, and then I've been in here all day doing so much. I've done so much work, but like on the sofa with Love Island playing in the background, and I have no
you've
regrets.
Been watching it?
I started it yesterday from the beginning, even though I'm like 3 weeks behind.
You're caught up already in 24 hours.
I tell you what episode I'm on, but ITVX, no streaming platform has the same user experience as Netflix, and I want them to answer as to why.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, no, that's how I am today. Oh, so many thoughts about that. But I'm good. I am keeping cool. I am excited to dive into our topic of today.
Well, before we do that, can I disappoint you?
Yes.
See, this is what I mean. Facial expressions, everything.
True.
I do not have a baby bill today. I ran out.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I've been out the house for like 3 or 4 days and I had no time to pick up said baby bells. No, that's not exactly true. I was even in Tesco multiple times. However, I did not think ahead as per usual.
The legacy of the baby bell is over.
No, wait. Just don't say it like that. That's going to break my heart.
Maybe I need to bring baby bells. Now I'm literally was just thinking about like ordering baby bells to your house, but like an actual person that will walk in at this moment that you don't know that will offer you a baby bell. Because I think that would be funny, but also quite creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like delivery service plus. Like they already do a plus, so like a whole
Super
other level.
speedy, but also will enter your home without permission.
Have keys for every house. Yeah.
Like Santa. I guess that's
Oh
more chimneys.
God. Yeah.
It's
I
true though,
don't.
that precedent's already been set.
Smoked baby bell.
Is that a thing?
I don't know, but I just thought about
Oh,
baby bells going down chimneys, and that was the leap that my brain made.
beautiful. I bet actually that's interesting. I wonder why, as to my knowledge, which is not that extensive, I haven't seen Baby Bell do any like limited edition flavors, new different flavors. Do we know why?
They did a World Cup thing where they just had wrappers that had footballs on once.
I can see why that would work. Maybe you don't need to mess with the Baby Bell, although a smoked version, I'd try
Sounds
that out.
good, right?
Yeah.
I think it
What's your
would.
opinion on Baby Bell versus Baby Bell Light?
Baby Bell Light doesn't exist to me. Like, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we already
Mm-hmm.
had a discussion recently about the horrors that is 80s and 90s war against fat in food and what an impact it's had.
You can't find a Greek yogurt that's not 0% fat. Having said that, I think when I went to Lidl, they were just out because recently they have 0%, 5%, and 10%. So they're delivering for me now. So we're good. But yeah.
And 100% doesn't exist, right?
No, I think that would just be a wad of fat.
Okay. Cheese. Wait, what? That's cheese, right?
But cheese ain't 100% fat. Because there's other stuff, right?
I'm reaching the end of my knowledge, so I think we better start the episode.
Okay. Do you want to introduce the topic for today?
I can do, but this is one that you know really, really well. And I know,
Yes.
like, because of you.
Wait, what's your why do you make the leap that I know this really well?
Because it was one of the first ones that you mentioned when we talked about doing the podcast. It
Was
was like
it?
the first night that we actually decided we were going to do it. That was one of the ones that came up, and you were so excited because you were like, "I'm going to wear my jumper. I'm going to wear my jumper." But we're in a heat wave, so obviously you're not
Yeah,
wearing the
it's too
jumper.
hot. Also, that might have been the day I lent you that jumper, so maybe that's why it came into my
Oh, and it looks so
head.
good on me as well. I'm going
It
to
did
steal it for
actually.
sure.
You should probably have it. Can I swap it for the long black cardigan you don't need when you're in Vietnam?
I mean, I don't really know how that works because I'm swapping one thing I don't need in Vietnam for another thing I don't need in Vietnam. But sure, yeah. I mean, you can just take my whole wardrobe, honestly, while I'm away.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. No, the context of the jumper is I have a Goose and Gander jumper. It's a grey jumper by the make is Goose and Gander. And I can't wear it or look at it or see myself without mentally and sometimes out loud saying, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I don't know why it's in that accent either.
Why
I'm assuming it's
Welsh?
from somewhere. I don't know.
That was
I don't know where
Welsh,
that's come
right?
from. Yeah, yeah.
A little bit.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I don't know how good that is, but maybe I should have found this out beforehand. I don't know why, but anyway, that's why this is an infamous saying for me.
For you because you have a jumper that will constantly remind you of it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, the only context that I have for it, other than the research that I have obviously done,
Obviously.
is your jumper. And it's a lovely jumper. Shout out the new sponsors. No, I'm just kidding.
Geese.
Oh, geese. We got geese, we got cheese, and we got barn owls.
We're doing great. We're doing great so far.
We're doing amazing, honestly.
So what's your instinct to, well, I want to ask you what your instinct is to this saying, but I also know you've done the research. Can you separate the two for a moment?
Yeah, I can because I had no instinct previous to the research because I didn't realize that Gander was the male version of Goose.
Me neither.
Okay.
I thought it was a baby goose.
Ah, well, I know a baby swan is a cygnet.
Whoa, you blow my mind here. I thought it was like a collective name for baby geese. Okay. Yep. Wow.
What, gander or cygnet?
Gander.
Gander. Yeah, a baby goose. I can hear my mother shouting at me, and she's not even in the house. Baby goose is called a dot 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 a gosling. Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Silly.
What's the plural though? What's the collective noun of geese and goslings?
Geese. It's just geese. Because
But do you not have like
separate,
but I mean like a collective noun. You know, like you have a murder of crows.
I mean, yeah, but it's okay. For geese, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, I meant collective noun, not plural.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm on it. I'm on it.
she's on it.
The collective noun for geese can be many things. If they're on the ground, it's gaggle.
Gaggle, of course. Okay.
Yeah. But if they're in the air, it could be a skein, a wedge,
better.
a team,
Yeah.
or a plump.
Weird, but I like it.
I
But
like
none of them are a gander. Okay.
Yeah, none of them are a gander because a gander is a male goose. Who knew? Not me.
Who knew?
And not you. Even though you've got a jumper that says it.
Right. And even though I did do a cursory Google beforehand about the meaning, and now this makes more sense.
What did your cursory Google say?
That it was about like saying that what's good for a woman is also good for a man.
Right. Okay. So this is where I can start to give you some further context.
Yeah. Can I say one last thing before you context?
Absolutely.
Always, every day of my life.
Of course.
It was that my interpretation, without thinking about it too hard, of this saying of what's good for the goose was good for the gander was just a general, like, if it's good for someone, it's good for everyone.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah. Or in the context of me thinking it was baby geese, if it's good for the mother goose, it's good for the children.
So we have walked into a situation where we're wildly unprepared to talk about gender politics, and yet here we are.
Absolutely. How's it gonna go? Let's find out.
Well, I mean, I don't mind a bit of cancellation. That's fine. That's fine.
I don't think either of us are going to say anything particularly controversial.
No,
Ignorant is another thing.
It depends. Controversial for who? You know, people have different rules.
True. That's true.
Okay, so we need to go back to the time of Shakespeare. Actually, a little bit after the time of Shakespeare. Late 1600s. And the original phrasing was actually like talking about culinary treatments. So when one cooks a goose, you should treat the gender of whatever the goose is that you're cooking equally, because apparently there was some suspicion that you needed slightly different sauces for the slightly different tastes of a male and a female goose.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is, I mean, interesting. I would need to do some further research on that if I wanted to determine whether there was any like basis for it. However, it was a thing. It was a thing, and so therefore people started to have to say, what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the original saying. And there aren't too many recorded instances back then of them using it for like a playful male and woman gender roles situation. However, as time went on, you see it more and more and more as a moral and political saying.
Okay.
So now we are thinking gender politics, we're thinking equality and fairness. And today it's kind of used to challenge double standards. So if men can do something, why can't a woman do something? In particular, to do with slut shaming and sports and careers. And then outside of the gender usage, it's also referred to as just general power dynamics. So, for example, if your boss were to leave at 4 o'clock, then someone in the office could be like, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and nip off as soon as they could afterwards.
I think that's the one that I was more familiar with it in my head when I was thinking of like almost like Mother Goose and then the goslings.
I wonder if that's because it's shifted like a step further in our age than it was recorded previously.
Maybe, because as you explain it, I'm like, I don't know if I've heard it being used apart from me seeing it on my jumper and saying it that I've got from somewhere. Like, I can't think of a context in my life really, although I think I keep saying this more and more now, that's like somebody would have said that, especially not in like a gendered way.
Perhaps it's the circles that we run in, maybe.
True.
I also wonder if there's like a particular area of the country / UK that are more likely to use it more, like whether it's tied to location or class or access to geese. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if you're more exposed to geese generally, it might be more of an accessible term. But do you not think like, so the goose is the female and the gander is the male?
Yes.
So that seems odd to me because you're saying what's in the context of its origins, which was about the cooking, fine. But if we're talking about like the evolution of like equality in gender, and it like you're saying what's good for the woman is also good for the man. And I feel like that's almost reverse of the problem that we've been trying to solve.
Yeah. 100%.
So I kind of don't see how it applies. I see how it applies, but like generally, I don't really see it.
I mean, well, I guess it's like anything that's evolved out of something else, right? Sometimes things take on a new meaning, but they don't make sense anymore.
True. Yeah, it kind of just spins out in its own little way.
Right. Like I hear people using phrases, especially around money, and they like use old terminology to describe something, like in a phrase version, rather than actually talking about actual metrics of money. Because especially when you think about Cockney rhyming slang.
True. Yeah, it's almost like it's so removed from the original that it kind of makes no sense, but the legacy of it makes it make sense, right, if you know what it is. Otherwise it's like, what?
Otherwise you're just thinking that it's a mother and some babies.
Wait, which one's this?
Geese.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about Cockney rhyming slang. I was trying to track backwards.
You were trying to think, oh, what? Well, I don't know that one.
And babies, wabies, rabies.
Oh my god, the number of times that I've done that, like gone into a cafe in East London, not East London like Whitechapel and Shoreditch, like Bow, and I will hear all of these random slices of conversation and people are just saying the wildest thing, and I just start trying out every rhyming scheme in my head possible to try and
wait,
work
so
out what
they actually they speak like that?
Yeah.
I've never seen it in the wild.
Yeah, it actually happens in the wild, which took me by surprise the first couple of times, and then I started just going out of curiosity.
Yeah, you're like a little code cracker trying to decipher what's being said.
Yeah, exactly, which is real fun.
That is fun.
But yeah, so things evolved from the cooking days, and they started using, I guess, what might have happened is, well, now I'm just theorizing. I'm supposed to be the factual one here, but
you've given the facts, though. Now you're allowed to do the theorizing. I will not let you theorize until the facts have been given.
I'm going off piste. I have forgotten what I was going to say because I got too excited about going off piste. Oh yeah,
You were
okay. So
theorizing.
yes, my theory of what happened is probably it was used for things originally that maybe women could do, but men couldn't, and then as it got like then co-opted very, very easily because there were a lot more things that men could do that women couldn't, and so then it naturally went that way. Dot 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 question mark.
What I want to know is, in the original version, what's good for the goose is good for the gander suggests that they were cooking the
Them
goose.
differently.
Yeah, but that the goose was the primary one. So were they cooking more?
Does it? Do you think?
What's good for the goose? Because I would read that as going, what's good for this one is also good for that one.
You
Wait,
mean
does that work?
you don't need to put more effort in just because it's a man?
Like,
I find that
yeah,
to
like
be
we can apply the same. We can apply. I haven't extrapolated the metaphor yet. I'm just thinking in terms of cooking a goose.
okay. Which is not something that I have ever done or will do, by the way.
No, vegetarian right here.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I eat geese at least 4 times a week.
In your
Dirty carnivore. I don't think I've ever eaten a goose, actually.
yet.
Yet. Will this make me hungry for geese? Who knows?
It will make you a fox.
Sorry, I was really in a my brain was wanting to finish the thought process of what I just said about goose being first, but it could also just be something similar, like it could be something simple like the phrase good for the goose is good for the gander just rolls off the tongue a lot better than what's good for the gander is good for the goose. Does it?
Oh.
Maybe the order's irrelevant is what I'm saying. Maybe it's not goose came first and then we were like, oh, we should do the same with these ganders. It was just like
Well, that's really
everyone.
interesting. I want to know what the sauce difference would have been as
Can we find that out?
as a chef. I mean, yeah, I can find that out if you're willing to talk to allow me to do the search for our wonderful, wonderful listeners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on it.
My first thought was to sing a song.
You can
I'm
sing
not
a
going
song
to do
if
it.
you want to, but
No, I'm not actually going to do that. I'm just going to fill the time. So we are. What we? You are typing. We are thinking. Oh, the source differences. I feel like I'll be honest. I feel like we're both. Well, I certainly am leaning pretty heavily on the early metaphor because my brain is trying to get around the complexity of discussing the later metaphor around gender politics.
well, you know, there's an easy way into that.
Is there?
Yeah. But let me
You do this first. You do this first. I'm trying to find my way in because my brain wants to make sense of everything, all of the time. But firstly, and most importantly, what is the source difference between geese, depending on whether it's a goose or a gander? And is there a difference? Although, wait, sauce or cooking? Wait.
Sauce. Yeah.
Okay, I heard you say sauce multiple times, and my brain translated it. This is interesting. My brain completely translated it to cooking times and method. Because my assumption was that there was something different about the biology of a goose and a gander that meant it needed to be cooked differently.
I see.
Was that never what it was? What's happened here? It was about the sauce.
Okay. Well, the more that I research into it, the more that it tells me, well, actually, no, it's literally just a metaphor. So what are you talking about? I'm like, well, excuse me. But yeah, but no, they talked about it in terms of source, even though it wasn't a real issue. But they talked about it in terms of source because everyone like knew how to cook a goose, apparently. And so it was like something that everyone would know about. And therefore it would spread quite well.
So that it was a metaphor to begin with.
Right.
Right.
And they used cooking to try and soften the discussion of gender and morality
well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I think that's why I struggle to apply it to the topic of gender, because it seems so flippant for somebody to just, if you were like, I'm really struggling, I don't know, I'm really struggling as a woman in the workplace trying to climb the corporate ladder, and like, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah, I don't think they really thought it through that 300 years later that people would still be saying it, and therefore
they thought they'd be done.
Probably better to be clearer.
Yeah. So what were they using it for back then?
They were saying it as a commentary on gender differences.
Like men and women can both do the same things.
Yeah, or they should be treated the same.
Should be treated the same. Interesting. Even in Shakespeare's time was this?
Yeah.
Wow. Fighting that fire for a long time. Wonder what that looked like back in his day. Didn't some women write his plays? Is that a controversial take? I feel like I heard that at some point.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't have enough knowledge to. Sorry, mother. I don't have enough knowledge to prove or disprove that one. However, he was a gender fluid advocate in that men would take on women's roles and women would take on men's roles.
True.
And that was a very, very, very common occurrence at the Globe.
Yeah. Ahead of his time. Or maybe right on his time, and we've meandered since.
I think right on his time, and this is something. Okay, here we go. This is something that has bugged me consistently. Is that cross-dressing, being trans, playing with gender, gender fluidity has been a thing since humans existed. Like, it's not new, it's not scary, it's not threatening. It's just something that's always been around and hasn't affected you, Robert. So please stop.
Right?
It's
and he's also very, very part of a lot of cultures, right? In like smaller, I don't quite know what the terminology is, but like I know that there's like cultures in Hawaii where like it's a very normal part of like spiritual practice, or like just part of the way that they live their lives, to have like gender fluidity. Like it's just a normal thing for them, right?
Yeah. It's part of Polynesian life. And like when you look back at ancient Greek texts, are you okay? You just had a bit of a moment there.
I was just sneezing, but I was turning the mic, I was muting so you didn't have to listen to it.
Yeah, well, for anyone on video, they just saw you have an absolute attack. So I just wanted to make sure you're okay. Do you have water?
All good. I do.
Okay,
I have water.
Yeah, you find all of these references, and it's beautiful, and it's the same with like queerness as well throughout history. Like it's always there. It's always there, hidden. Which has been a really cool part of my learning journey over, I don't know, the last 10 years, maybe something. Where was I going with this? I completely threw myself off.
We were talking about Shakespeare and like cross-dressing then, and different genders taking opposite gender roles, and how it's just like a normal thing over history. Because I said, have we gone backwards or meandered?
Yes, exactly. I think the conversation has probably just looked in some ways very similar, in some ways very different over time. And I, you know what? Capitalism works better if there are binaries and like specific segments that you can market to. And I say that as a marketer. So
true. And also I think like part of the challenge, right, is that like in the good for the goose is good for the gander. If you're going for like, there's a binariness in going, oh no, it's good for men and it's also good for women. Like we want equality, but I think that having equality between two genders has been a hugely important thing, but it almost drives the binary, because then now you have people that are going like, but there's only these two, and like we've worked, you know, like we've women are allowed to vote, and women are I say that like that's a recent development, but you know, we're allowed to do those things now, and so
It is
like
a recent development though. It is like it wasn't even that long ago.
wild.
And you look at America now and you're like, oh, that was a brief blip in time where women were allowed to do anything, have rights over their own body.
Yeah, that's actually wild.
Right?
I don't want to use the word wild because I use wild in a positive sense. Do you know what I mean?
That's okay. I interpret it based on your facial expressions. Again, facial expressions.
Which right now is not good.
Yeah.
I think this, well,
what?
There's something in the metaphor, isn't there, of like, you're essentially saying what's good for one type of person, or what's good for one category of person is also good for the other category or categories of person. Or they should all be treated equally. I guess we're taking it that way. But I think there's I don't know, I feel like there's a challenge, isn't there, of like equal, like, what's the way to describe it? Like equality is not that, like, doesn't mean being treated the same. Like it's not the same thing for everyone.
Yes, it's equity over equality.
Yeah, exactly.
But that doesn't, I mean, like you say, Goose and Gander, binary. It's the start of the problem.
Yeah.
So essentially, much earlier than usual, we're deciding to completely write off a metaphor then, are we?
I guess so. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Well, but like all of these, it's context, isn't it? Because it's like, I'm trying to think of another context I would use that in. Like it is binary, but like there are circumstances where you need binary, so you might be able to apply it to something else.
I mean, in the power dynamic sense, it makes a lot of sense because it's like politicians running the country and asking everyone to stay at home or else they will be fined thousands of pounds during a global pandemic. And then telling someone, oh, get the beers in because we're going to have a party all together, tell all your friends, in a government building, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's almost like if that's how you get to do it, then that's how we get to do it.
What? Yeah, it's like if you're setting the rules, you can't tell somebody to do something that you're not willing to do yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And I like that interpretation of it because it just makes sense more in my head. Because for some reason I can't stop seeing Gander as a collection of geese. Why is that? There's something about Gander that sounds more of a collective noun than.
Well, when I think Gander, I just think have a gander.
Oh yeah, true.
Which
have a gander.
I don't know where I've got that from. My time up north.
It might have been me because that's yeah.
It was PR actually pre-Rach.
Stop it. Well, I won't take credit.
I don't know if it's a Manchester thing or if it's wherever I go, I tend to adopt local sayings very, very quickly because I want to be like seen as part of the herd. I want to fit in.
Is it intentional or is it subconscious? Do you think?
I think the action is intentional and the need is subconscious.
Mm-hmm. So you were picking up the ganders left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I was. I still am. I retain so many like bits and pieces from the places that I've been. I was talking about this to somebody recently, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more. I want to know more things.
Well, actually, it might be really interesting to you because it was somebody that's probably listening. Hey, Laurie, if you're listening, from Big Feelings.
I know Laurie.
Yeah.
From the workshop we went to.
Yeah, exactly. And we were talking about their accent because they're French and were in America and were in Scotland and were in was it Ireland or Wales? I forget. I apologize. But their accent now consists of elements of all of these places.
Mhm.
And we were talking about how it's most likely a neurodiversity thing, which is interesting. But it's also like a really lovely way of kind of picking up stamps in a passport kind of feeling.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you take on a piece of the place that you've been.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder that with like sometimes I like I was about to say get secondhand embarrassment from myself. That's not how that works. But like I'm sometimes worried or self-conscious that I will pick up other people's accents or things without or like repeat phrases without meaning to. But I don't, and then I'm really like self-conscious that it looks like I'm trying to just be like them. Do you know what I mean? Or like trying to be like the place that I am.
Yeah.
But it does happen. It just happens because that's how sound works in my head. I don't know. Like it's just the association and the whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent. I will come back to Gander eventually, but I that's why accents and voice are so important to me. I know I've said this to you before, but a voice can make or break somebody.
Ooh. Well, like romantically or generally.
It definitely has more of an impact romantically, but also generally. I think. I put too much. I think I put not intentionally too much emphasis on it, to be honest.
Oh, I really want to ask you what kinds of voices and accents you hate.
Oh, what to make sure that we exclude a whole swathe of people that might be listening. Yeah. Just offend a bunch of people all at one time. You already know the answer to this question as well. Like we can talk about that another time, I think.
Do I? I will. What will happen is you'll say one word and it'll re-jog my memory. But right now I'm like, wait, what is that?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's
Anyway,
where we'll leave that. Gander.
We should probably talk about this Goose and Gander, shouldn't we? But I am struggling with this one. Like, I'm struggling to extrapolate the metaphor. I'm struggling to like relate to it.
Okay, well, should we go into some dating hypocrisy so that you might have some more to latch onto?
Yeah, go on. I mean, we can, but I just no, go on.
Body count, as in,
Oh yeah.
you're that face.
Well, as in, but like, if someone said to me, "What's your body count?" I'd be like, "I haven't killed anyone. I don't understand." Like, I just. And I think this might have happened. I was like, somebody was talking about the concept of body count, and I was like, what are you talking about? That is a murder, no? That is like a.
Bro, there's a whole film called What's Your Number? Have you watched that?
Is it like from the naughty, like earlier on in the noise?
I think so, yeah. Let me check.
I'm thinking white background. I'm thinking like black question marks, maybe a red exclamation mark.
I think
I'm thinking the woman that used to be married to Chris Pratt, is she in it?
Catherine, no, Anna Faris.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The visuals be visualizing. I haven't watched it.
Chris Evans.
I haven't seen it. I don't think. I've just seen the thumbnail.
And Anthony Mackie. And Andy Samberg. I'm gonna watch this again.
Oh,
immediately. But yeah, it only took one name for me to be like, I'm sold again. It's been a really long time since I've watched it, but it came out in 2011.
I don't know if I've seen it. I don't think I have.
Oh, we should watch it.
And I guess the angle here, right, is like the good for the goose, the good for the gander, is that there is hypocrisy or like different standards in dating as to what a woman is criticized for versus a man is praised for.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So body count used for men primarily?
No, both.
Because it's not for both.
Yeah, but one's a positive and one's a negative, obviously. Although, you know, I think it might be changing. I might be getting better.
Sorry, I was just my head was going. I'm really just opposed to the phrase body count.
Well, it's a thing. It's a thing that people say.
Well, I disagree. I don't like it.
you just want to apply it only to murder.
Yeah. So body. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know it's dehumanizing,
it's
right?
just so, yeah. Oh, that creeps me
It's
out. Honest to God.
crazy.
What's your body count? That's what I mean, right? It sounds like murdering, because the only time that there's ever bodies is when people are dead, or no, when people are dead. That's when people become bodies. So like what we no.
Oh my God. That's why the film is called What's Your Number? Because
Yeah. Which is
otherwise
better.
it would be a thriller.
And I know. Oh, and I was about to say, and I know exactly what someone meant if they said, "What's your number?" But they could also mean, "What's your phone number?" But anyway, it depends on the context.
Well, yeah, if someone said, "What's your number?" to you, you're not going to think, how many people have I slept with?
No, unless it was already part of the conversation.
Oh my God. Okay, so there's one thing. Another thing, like emotional support. We are watching a Netflix show at the moment called Too Much.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is a great case of goose and gandering. No?
Ooh. Oh, okay. Say more, because yes, but I haven't thought about this yet.
Well, I would say that women are more likely to be called out as too much or too emotional
Oh yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
too much to handle or have too many thoughts, too many words, all of
Yeah.
these things, even though there have been studies and like it's not the truth.
But this is what annoys me about all of this. That's what annoys me about all of this. But as in like that, when okay, my next thought from when you said that is like objectively that's how women appear to be, because, well, general like bias and stereotype, but like
Yeah, and that's how
and if
they're
you take
portrayed in movies and
portrayed,
films.
yeah. But if you take like too much of as an example, comparing those two, like she is way more overtly emotional and out there than he is, right? Like he's much more
I don't
inward.
know, man. I don't know. Have you watched more
Interesting.
without
No,
okay,
I
yeah, me
started it
neither.
and then I was like, oh, another time. But
I
I
think I think I think I think not. I think there's the same amount going on under the surface.
oh yeah. But the externalization, and this is actually my point, right? The externalization of it is different, and so
Yeah.
it does both men and women dirty, because like
The men
men are
don't
then
get to
left in the
express themselves
yeah
and they become part of a loneliness epidemic
yeah exactly.
because they don't share anything.
And the examples of people that I've seen are situations, where people will want men to be more overt with their feelings or more expressive or cry, but then are so like stressed out and don't know how to handle it because it's so unfamiliar.
Oh my God, I love a man crying
Yeah, me too.
in any context.
Vulnerability, guys. Vulnerability.
It's stunning.
But you're right, like it's the externalization of it, I think, that's most apparent.
Mm, yeah.
Tricky though. Well, both in terms of how it's portrayed, but then also I think anecdotally, actually, as in like the women in my life are more overtly expressive about their emotions than the men in my life.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd say.
Okay. What if they both express the same thing, but then they get treated differently? For example, Taylor Swift and Leonardo DiCaprio and their
Mm-hmm.
dating of various people and
Well, yeah,
scrutinizing of it.
yeah. And that's a classic example, isn't it, right? Of like celebrity women and their dating life versus celebrity men and the way like they're like heroes and sort of good on him, isn't it, right? Whereas Taylor Swift, it's like, why she had all of these boyfriends?
Mm,
Yeah,
God.
double standards.
Okay. Well, I mean, uh, I was about to say something. I was about to ask you a question. I think I know the answer, but you might surprise me.
Whoa.
If you were able to choose your gender, which by the way it's not a choice, it's the same as sexuality. You are who you are. You were born this way, baby.
This way.
And we figure it out, and things can shift and change inside of us, but we're not in control. By the way, everyone, by the way, public service announcement. But if you could choose, would you choose to change and be a gander for the privileges that you would get?
No. No. But that's because I can't even like comprehend it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
As in, like, I just can't. I guess I'm trying to detach from myself, because if I couldn't see myself switching to a gander and still being me. So it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make so. But even if you take that identity crisis aside, or lack of identity crisis, I guess, for the perks.
I mean, there are
No.
downsides. There are downsides as well, by the way. Like,
yeah,
it's not a clear-cut case.
no. But it's not like I'm going, oh God, I wouldn't want to because of XYZ. I don't know. I actually just find it really hard to like even imagine.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either.
For me or for you?
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I just think women are elite. Is that controversial?
Well, actually, I want to discuss this with you.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about this recently, and again, I don't know if it's like controversial is not the right phrase, and I'm going to try and not what's the word? Censor myself, because it annoys me. You know, like at the earlier we were like, oh my God, we're going to get cancelled. How do we discuss this? It annoys me. I don't know we're putting this out online, but it annoys me that we live in a world where like it's really hard to even have a discussion out of fear that you're going to say the wrong thing. Like, I am aware that I'm I am not as informed as I wish to be on this topic, and work in progress. But like I have this thing or this question around, now I'm back on Instagram, I get sucked into the algorithm content, and there's a lot of like female empowerment, women are amazing. Actually, not even that. It's the shitting on men stuff. It's like the generalization of like, oh, when men does this, and like taking the piss out of men, and all men this, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah, not all men.
Oh my God.
Hang on.
Oh my God. Rip.
Men, guys, no. I'm joking. Oh, hang on, my microphone keeps coming in and out. And I look at that and I go, I understand why we've got to this point, right? Because like maybe the question that I'm asking is around like what does it mean to be a feminist? Because my version of feminism isn't to shit all over men, because I feel like we're just not achieving this. We're just not achieving the goal that we want to achieve.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just bothers me a bit, because I think I actually work with quite a lot of men in my coaching, which is not something that I expected to do, because as a woman, I just thought women would gravitate towards me. But it means that I get a lot of time inside of their worlds, and it makes me realize that we are all just the same beings. It just shows up in very different ways. And so I find it frustrating that those generalizations are being made about men. But then at the same time, I feel like voicing that kind of means I have to caveat it by going, but I also support feminism. But like I can support multiple things.
Well, and I would say that recognizing humans as humans is very feminist, because the core idea of feminism is that it's not that women are better than men or deserve more than men. It's that people, not even men and women, people are equal and deserve equal opportunities and equity and the same choices and all of these things, like the same opportunity. But that sometimes, depending on what your sources are and how much time you spend online and who you follow, can be disrupted. Either way.
either way, and I guess that's the tricky thing, right? Is the example I gave is like a certain area of Instagram where like it's not that representative of people's views, or like it's content. So it's people that are wanting to be controversial, or they're wanting to push the algorithm. So like it's kind of, it's kind of like, well, maybe I shouldn't be looking at that or getting mad at it, because that's just a function of being online. It's not actually a representation of.
Well, and also you don't want to be living in an echo chamber. You want to hear what other people's views are, because otherwise you can't have those conversations. And it's the most important thing that we have empathy and understanding, and for other people that are on different paths than us, and come from different backgrounds than us, and be able to have conversations about what each other's lives are like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is why I like long form content.
I mean, yeah, but like long form content can be easily clipped and taken out of context for whatever people want to use it for. It's the world that we live in. So
Sorry.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I think I'm gonna
throw it out.
You're gonna throw it out?
I'm gonna throw it out. I'm gonna throw it out massively in terms of the context of men and women and gender in society, because I
agree.
think that we need to be having a more holistic conversation. And I think in this case, I'm all for humans using short phrases and metaphors to make communication easier. But in this case, it actually makes communication more difficult, because it's more nuanced than a conversation, than just this one phrase. And even in power dynamics, I think it needs to be thrown out as well, because like sometimes people have more power than other people for a reason.
Whoa. I've only just realized we're 53 minutes in, which is wild. I thought it had been like half an hour, but now this is a whole other avenue. But
I'm sorry to bring a whole other avenue up in my conclusion.
But interesting.
Like the thing is, when we talk about power dynamics, we're usually talking about them being abused, and that's where we hear power dynamics bad. But actually, like there being a power dynamic is fairly normal, like a teacher and a student.
Yeah, like, that's how I interpreted it, as like boss, manager and employee.
Right, life
power dynamic.
Yeah,
and I think I was thinking about it in terms of like what we talked about earlier, where almost like the boss, if it's good for the boss, it's good for the minions type thing. But then what you just said there was interesting, which is like sometimes there's a reason why that might need to be different.
Yeah.
And actually, maybe there's a conclusion from all of this, which is just like, it's not that straightforward, is it? Which probably is the conclusion from a lot of our discussions. But like, it's not, what's good for something isn't necessarily good for another thing. That's actually really difficult to pin down.
Right, exactly. So I think maybe 1600s phrase can stay in the 1600s unless it's on your jumper, for me.
Well, this is the question now. How am I going to feel about wearing the jumper?
Depends what the company's history is, I think, right?
Which I don't know, actually.
Well, tune in next week where we go into the history of this random clothing company.
I do think that it's making me realize that once my mind associates a phrase with an image, I'm finding it really hard to row back. So because my mind associates goose with one goose and gander with a gaggle of geese, I just can't, it won't go back.
So you are redesigning the metaphor to be a mother and her babies.
Yeah.
What's good for the mother is good for her babies.
Yeah. There you go.
Right.
In a very specific context of some goosing around.
I love that. I think we should do some kind of like arts and crafts around that.
Oh. Oh, the ugly duckling. Don't even get me started. That's like a metaphor of a scale, of a whole book scale, isn't it? What are those parables?
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, we're losing the plot here.
Let's leave it there. Next week we will be discussing. Can you remember what it was?
Why did you just launch into that without? Oh my God. RachelWalker.com. We are doing jumping on the bandwagon.
Jumping on the bandwagon. The reason I launched into it is because I would say 20% of my communication is me starting a sentence and hoping that I'll find the end. And it works 80% of the time. Yeah. Did not work then.
The other percentage, you need me next to you.
Exactly.
Cute.
To reel it off.
I'll always
So in this instance, I caught you off guard, I think. Sweet. Cool. All right.
Okay, bye.
Episode's over, but you don't want to miss the outro. Thanks for spiraling through another metaphor with us.
If you like this episode, tell your mates, leave us a review, or shout a saying at us online.
You can find me, Rach, over on YouTube at Rach Does YouTube.
And you can find me, George, watching Rach's videos over on YouTube, but also on Instagram at makinga.fuss.